you doing? Hi everybody, as you can see, this is the Ginger and Loki show. I'm trying to read my production notes and Loki sits on them. I hope all is well. And hey Carol, hi. You want to move, Loki? Thank you. Hope all is well where you are. And I hope I didn't upset you with my comment regarding when the South Carolina state legislature, they're a bunch of idiots, okay, what they're doing. And I know what you're talking about. My daughter had an ectopic pregnancy and tubular pregnancy, and naturally they had to abort the baby there too because it wasn't viable. And of course she was bleeding heavily on that, and that's not a good idea. So anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day to all my friends and family, and I hope you guys are having a good day. It's really sunny here, and wow, it's 55 degrees. That's the highest it's ever been. It's warming up. I'm going to start opening the windows a crack here to, even things out and everything. But yeah, it's 55, which is, I'm on the 3rd floor. So it does get warm up here. But hey, it's better than freezing to death more than anything. Hey Nancy! Well, has the snow gone away over in Alma? Oh, you got 20. Well, 55 here, unless you want to move up here. Much milder weather, and we don't get the wild storms here like you guys do in the Midwest. Nice place to visit, but wouldn't want to live there. Yeah, it's really warmed up quite a bit up here. So anyway, I don't know if you guys heard the news. I don't know if you ever heard of you remember The Hague? You know, the World Court, which is in The Hague in the Netherlands. Okay. They have a branch called the International Criminal Court. Guess what? They issued an arrest warrant against Putin and this other gal on Ukraine, regarding Ukraine. He invading Ukraine, and he's been kidnapping women and children and basically human and child trafficking. Well, they issued an arrest warrant for him. They're coming after him. So, and I know Interpol won't play around. They will go after him. So, because all 9 members have all 9 members have unanimously voted for the arrest warrant. So he's in deep doo-doo. And, you know, if I were the FSB or his inner court and everything else, we'd go, you know what, guys? Come on over and get him. Put him in jail. Because Putin had no right to invade Ukraine whatsoever. And, you know, take you. Wow. I remember we had 12 feet in Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah, I hope they get him to it's about time. Do you know that Putin was a former Well, to counter their FSB, what they call the Federal Security Bureau. Well, I don't know what it is in Russian, but their FSB is a spy agency. It's a counterpart to our CIA. Well, he was kind of lower end, but he was a spy. He was an agent, spy agent, and years ago. And so he knows he knows practically everything well. How he got up to be president of Russia, I don't know. So anyway, I hope that I think it's about time the Kremlin should get rid of this guy. Just people when they get rid of, they think thinking done in. No, I mean get rid of him by putting him in jail. That's what they should do. Just kick him out. Yeah, well, I think he is too, but he's kind of a dumb one. I call dumb he who shall not be named. Because he should not have a name at all. He should be just individual zero. But anyway, I'm glad to see that the Hague and the ICC is going after Putin. So now, speaking of which, he who shall not be named, the DOJ and the FBI are gearing up to implement the indictments and arresting him. So it looks like what I understand from the Midas Touch, they've been keeping close tabs on this. It looks like it may happen on Monday. Really, it should happen today. You know, don't do it secretly. Just do it out in the open, have it on film and everything, and perp walk him. And if he who shall not be named screams, yells, shouts, and hollers and everything else, let him. And let it fall on deaf ears. I think now more and more people are sick and tired of him. I really do. They want somebody else. They're not. I don't think the traditional GOP, not the radical mega hats guys, but the traditional GOP, they don't really have any good candidates whatsoever. And the mega hats right now hold basically the party hostage. And I think now the traditional GOP need to band together and boot these guys out, dump them, and get good viable candidates in there with using common sense and try to make things better for everybody, because it involves everybody. It affects everything. And that's what these mega hats don't seem to understand. Because anything that they do affects everybody else. And frankly, I think three-quarters of them, I think about well over all of them, the mega hats, should have their heads slapped. But I hope this happens soon, okay? The indictments on money laundering, which they discovered on his Truth Social, they found out he's been doing money laundering from Russia. And you know what? I think the apt punishment should be for he who shall not be named. Either A, stuck on Epstein Island in jail and make him do all the maintenance and everything himself, clean up himself, or ship him to Russia and yank his citizenship. I think that'd be punishment enough. Or throw him either in Gitmo or put him in Supermax in solitary. Because he has done a lot of damage and harm to this country. Well, look what's happening now with the three smaller banks that failed. because he did deregulated. Well, anytime you deregulate something, it takes time for it to get through or step through. So it's, you know, including the train wrecks that's been going on. Oh, I love your comeback, Carol. Yeah. Well, Putin's been known to go after people who speak out against him. And and I think that's another reason why The Hague is going after him, too. Yeah, the railroad's been deregulated, yes. And they need to put the regulation back on, slap it back on. And my attitude toward the railroad companies, hey, if you want to stay in business, you want to make things safe for everybody, including both the passengers and the cargo and your crews, you have to follow regulation. It's put there for a reason. Why do you think throughout all history that we have so many railroad accidents? Look at the problems that the steam engines had years and years and years ago. Back in the 1920s, back in the 1800s, 1800s and mainly around the 1900s. The steam engines kept blowing their engines, and when they blow their engines, the cab crew sometimes get either done in or seriously injured, and then they die from their injuries. So that's why safety precautions and improvements in engine building engineering was done for that very reason. Well, now we need positive control on all brakes of the engines. There was one they were showing on Midas Touch on the trains, on the various brakes. Well, yeah, like you have the regular traditional brakes that sometimes don't always work very well. Then they have the different kind, what they have positive, negative, to stop the train. In other words, they have the rear engine pulling one way and the other engine pulling the other way. That doesn't work either because it causes the cars to derail. Their couplings to snap and everything. That was part of the problem. So that's when they decided to go with positive control braking on all the cars, on all the engine, the cars, and everything else, so they can stop the train faster. But when you carry a real long concise, which I mean freight load, concise is the railroad lingo term. You have a real long one, like 20 cars, things are bound to happen because you don't really have any much control between the engine and the last car on the train. Because if something goes wrong in between, everything will get thrown off, or the braking isn't working, or something happens, hydraulics, whatever, something happens. So I think now the railroads, what they need to do is make their loads smaller, like 10 cars at the minimum, and not make it 20 cars. Sure, I know you want to get as much stuff moved as much as possible, but you have to factor in safety in that too. Yeah, and same way with the trucks. The truckers, they're running into problems with their employers because their employers are not letting them have long rest times. By trucking regulation, they're supposed to rest 8-hour shifts. Get off, go X number of miles or X number of hours and miles, and then pull over and sleep 8 hours or 9 hours. Get a full rest sleep. Because you don't want to be falling asleep at the wheel. You have a big rig, and it could cause a lot of damage, or you could get hurt, or you could get done in. So I think now employers need to really think safety. Because if they do that, less chance of having lawsuits, fines from, the Transportation Safety Board and everything else. Fines from that. They really need to think that. They need to stop cutting corners, is what they really need to stop doing. Trains need to stop cutting corners. Truckers need to, trucking companies need to stop cutting corners. And employers in general need to stop cutting corners. If they want to stay in business, then they need to treat their employees right and stop, dictating what their employees can and cannot do while they're off. Okay? I had one time years ago when I worked at Boeing, there was a substitute boss, and he told me, he goes, well, you can't go to your horse shows or anything because I won't allow you. And I said, what I do on my off time is my business and it's none of yours. And walked up right behind him with his boss. And he said, you don't do that. He said, you go to my, he pointed to him and go, you go to my office now. I was going, well, the guy's in big trouble. Yeah, and they really need to cut back on the cars. They really do. They need to go 10 cars minimum. They can't go more than 20 or more than 15 cars, okay? And they can't go more than 20. That's asking for big issues. Well, look what happened. I think it's outside of Phoenix, Arizona, this past week. There was a derailment, and guess what the load was carrying? Corn syrup. It derailed, and the corn syrup went splashing everywhere. Well, my thoughts was better than oil, or better than toxic material like what happened in East Palestine. Okay, yeah. But we need to push back on that and tell the railroad company, hey, we know you're trying to move cargo and everything else, but please do it safely. Don't cut corners. Not a good idea. Well, look at the space agency. They don't cut corners. They want to make things safe as much as possible, okay? Those that are living and working in space, there's a danger there too. But they don't cut corners. They do everything by procedure. Okay. So it should be as in everything. So as far as he who shall not be named, we'll wait and see, and I'm sure it's going to happen. He who shall not be named is flip-flopping around. He's attacking everybody and everything. He knows he's in trouble. His guilt is really getting to him now. It's really super getting to him. And not the first time a government official has been thrown in prison. I know it's maybe the first time for a ex-president, but look at governors. Look at Illinois. 3 of their governors are now in prison. Ex-governors. And Illinois does not play around. They don't care if the person's the governor of their state. You break a law, or state law, or federal law, off to the pokey you go. So, Um, anyway, by the way, you know what I noticed on my Facebook here when I'm on Edge? I don't have the FPS message I keep getting like I do in Firefox. Anyway, this is running much better. It's working much better. It's much smoother. I really like that. So I'll do this from now from my from Edge browser. I tried doing things on Firefox this morning, but Facebook kept, well, it's kind of funny, doing weird things, so I thought, you know what, I'll go to Edge, since that's my backup. Now, we were talking about earlier, and Carol made the comment regarding what South Carolina's legislature are considering a bill that would make it a death sentence to women who abort or have an abortion for whatever reason and everything else, and not letting women and doctors and nurses make sound medical decisions. To me, that's too draconian. South Carolina legislature has no business telling what a woman what she can and cannot do. It should be left up between her and her doctor. It's her health. Because if they keep doing this, hypothetically they keep doing this, there are not going to be any women around in South Carolina to have kids to replace the population. They need to think about that. Frankly, I think the South Carolina legislature should be replaced and not get the mega hats in there. And I think that's what's causing the issues on that. So I think there should be a big pushback. I think people of South Carolina need to hit back and hit back hard. Because here, like in Washington State, there's nothing like that thought up here. They really are very pro-human, very blue, and we do what's right for all of us. So why is South Carolina wanting to dictate to women what they can and cannot do as far as their own health care goes? Well, Texas too. Any of the red states that are doing this. Texas is being a bunch of idiots. And, in many ways, I wish, who was, I'm trying to remember the one governor, lady governor of Texas. If she was alive, she'd be hitting the guys over the head on this. I forgot what her name is. Keep thinking first name is Ann, but I can't remember. Yeah, and DeSantis has not helped any either, Dorothy. I think he should just be given the boot. Yeah, she was very smart, and she didn't put up with all this crap, okay? If she was alive now, Ann Richards, that's what I was looking for, Ann Richards. If she was alive now and saw all this, she'd be walking up to Texas State Capitol and bopping a few heads. And I wish there was more people like her. I really do. And I think now, too bad Florida can't just recall DeSantis and just replace him with somebody that's better. I really do. With all these things he's doing now, I don't think it's going to help him on the election. If he decides to run for president, but there is he's just been re-elected, right, Dorothy? for governor. Because I know there's a state law that he cannot run for president until he's finished with his term. Yeah, I think all of us women like to give him the boot. Like, take a long walk off a very short pier, and then go in the drink and swim with the sharks. I can't stand the guy. Oh, and you have all these other idiots that are going around too, like Boebert and Green. Don't they ever listen to themselves? You know, Boebert and Green are the other two that need to be given the, you know, thing. And like I talked about on Wednesday, there is a strong, I think there is a big change that's needed in Congress. And don't let anybody say, well, it's not going to happen. Because when somebody says it's not going to happen, that's telling me that they condone it. What needs to happen is there's some regulation changes in Congress. No corporate lobbying. Corporations need to be given the boot out of there. If they want to talk to the government, then they need to talk to, like, the not Federal Elections Commission, but the regulatory agencies like Transportation and the Labor Board and everything else. They could talk to them, but they cannot go and directly talk to the senators and representatives in Congress. The only group that could be able to do that is people like you and me. We're the bosses. And we should be telling them, hey, this is what needs to be done. You don't work for corporations. You work for the people. And also the tax code needs to be rewritten again. Needs knocked down from, was it, eight tax lines or whatever, anyway, down to 2, corporations and people. And then have exemptions in each of them. Exemptions I like to see for cottage industry and exemptions for small business. And also, cottage industry, what I mean by that is people that work out of their homes and own a business and work out of their home. Like I have my online store, okay, which did not require a B&O tax. So, anyway, okay, well, it's almost 1:30 again. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy St. Patty's Day. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens on Monday or over the weekend. Who knows, they might do it today. Or they might do it tomorrow. It depends on what the DOJ and court's going to do. And like the E. Jean Carroll case, I find that really funny. Yeah. I'm sure it's going to happen because Midas Touch has been keeping close tabs on this. I will. You choose. Have fun. Stay safe. Stay well. Be sure to insist, persist, and push back. I love you all. And have a wonderful weekend. And I'll post this on my YouTube channel too. So feel free to share. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.